Is
Palm Garden is starting a new Chats at the Garden series, and on January 14th at 2 p.m., Steve Head will be talking about carotid stenosis and preventing strokes. Steve is a physician's assistant working with surgical specialists of Ocala. Chats at the Garden is open to the public, and Palm Garden is located on the corner of Southwest 34th Street and 27th Avenue. Plan to attend Chats at the Garden on January 14th at 2 p.m. For more information, call 854-6262.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 19 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We have had our next guest on the air with us before, and it's always a delightful interview. And in addition to learning a little bit about Carl Brookins in the past interviews, we've also learned about a private investigator named Sean, who is the brainchild, literally the brainchild of Carl Brookins. Carl is, in addition to being a very talented author, he's also a freelance photographer, a public TV program director, a cable TV administrator, a member of the Mystery Writers of America, Sisters in Crime, and Private Eye Writers of America. And I think he said he rented the boat in this picture.
Oh, okay.
Remember a long time ago we asked him about the boat? I think
exactly.
he said he rented it, but he has got that look of a sailor in this picture.
He's a seafaring man.
Carl Brookins.
Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Carl.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's 4 below. How do you think I should be doing?
Does that mean you're in Wisconsin? No, you're in St. Paul.
I'm in St. Paul, Minnesota. Yes, but
Okay.
it's 4 below zero right now. Not in here, but outside these walls.
Well, it's a little cool here too. It's I think 50 degrees.
Oh, give me a break. and you should understand that I'm just back yesterday from a week on Maui.
Oh, my gosh.
No!
How
Well, they have us.
wonderful.
They usually have us beat. Maui usually has Florida beat, right?
Yeah, well, yes. But you're right. The picture that you saw, the picture you were referring to, is a picture of me at the helm of a rental boat in the Virgin Islands.
So, are you out on a boat? Do you go out on boats a lot? Are you a sailor?
Well, I did. Yes. My wife and I we're recreational sailors, and we sailed many times all over the world. Australia, the Adriatic, and the Pacific Ocean, and Lake Superior, and things like that. Yeah.
I referred to your character, Sean, private investigator Sean, as a brainchild. Do you feel like he's really a part of your family? I mean, he's part of you. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. He showed up in my office one day with this big tattered group of files under his arm, saying, "I read your first book. I want you to tell my stories, and I got them all right here."
What?
So, then he left this big file of folders and went off to wherever these mythical characters go in one's head.
That's right.
neat.
Exactly.
You had me believing that for a second there. All right, so tell me about the new book. The new book is called The Case of the Yellow Diamond. Give us a thumbnail sketch of the story.
Thumbnail sketch. It's based on reports I read and people that I talked to when I was in the United States Navy. At the end of World War II, we were very anxious to get all of our troops back from all over the world as quickly as possible, and a very small percentage of them took advantage of that because they didn't have to go through immigration and the inspection when they got back, and they smuggled stuff in. The dumb ones tried to smuggle huge amounts of cash and drugs. The smart ones smuggled handfuls of what looked like dusty, grimy pebbles, which were in fact uncut diamonds that they'd picked up around the place, and they then used to finance various businesses. Now, if you were very smart, as my nasty characters in this particular book are, you feed that gradually into your business. Makes your business better, makes you richer, so on. Things go on, blah blah, for years and years and years. All right, fine. Now you were using a relative to smuggle, or maybe you were, to smuggle some of those gems to you during the end of the war, and you're not sure whether your relative was carrying a stash of those things. He shot down the last days of the war over an island that nobody ever heard of called Yap, which the Japanese use as a command and control center. Now, years later, right, 2015, your great-granddaughter is now interested in her great-granduncle. And so she, and being a scuba diver and an underwater diver, she and her husband decided to go to Yap to try to find the bomber that went down in that harbor with his body aboard. Just, as an exercise in family togetherness.
Oh, wow, yeah.
All right. But the people who know that he might have been carrying smuggled gems, fact is he wasn't, he was an honest guy, but they don't want her to go. So all of a sudden, they don't want her to find out any more information. So all of a sudden, here in Minneapolis, are these people, and the wheels are coming off this wagon that they're trying to get the Yap on, you see. And so they hire Sean to try to find out what's going on. That leads to more mayhem and murder and a teenager being shot and all kinds of interesting stuff. And so you have the case of the Yellow Diamond.
Oh, man. You did a good job making us want to read the story.
Good.
It's very intriguing.
Go ahead.
I love the fact that it is a period piece and that you do have the separation between the two different eras. But she gets involved in the romantic side of the World War II era.
That's really true because they don't spend a lot of time talking about it, but there really is this sense of adventure that existed, especially for the Air Force people and some of the Navy people. I had an uncle who was in fact on Guadalcanal with the First Marines, and it's very depressing to talk about what happened to him. Except I'll explain to you that one of the things we had to do after he came back was we had to periodically replace a barn door because he would sit for hours with his throwing knife. Using it on the barn door, you see. And
wow.
I mean, if you ran out of ammunition, as they occasionally did some of the units on Guadalcanal, because they couldn't be regularly supplied, they had to resort to true hand-to-hand combat, and that's not a lot of fun.
So how do you what is your method of operation, I guess, for writing? Do you surround yourself with music that sounds like the era, or what do you do?
No, I play whatever feels good at the time I'm writing. I often write with music. A lot of writers can't do that. But I have very widespread eclectic tastes. The only thing I really do not care a whole lot for is heavy metal or opera. The rest of the genre, musical genre, I tend to listen to from time to time. And when I'm writing, whatever comes up on the radio is often what I listen to, and that's fine.
And when you're doing a period piece, does it require research, or do you just?
Yes. All these pieces do. Yes.
Okay.
None of my books were written without a substantial amount of research. I do internet research. I go to the public library. I read. I check out books, which people think is weird, but that's what I do. That's because I'm older. And the whole idea is to get a really good background. So I have a few relatives who are in the military. I was in the service myself, so I have some sense of what that's like, although I was never in combat. And so all of that gives me a certain background. But I have this basic character, Sean, who's short, and who lives in the Twin Cities, and he's determined not to travel. So when this guy comes to him, of course, the first thing he says is, "Well, that's a very interesting story you're telling, but I'm not going to go to Yap. I'm not going to go to Wisconsin. That's only 30 miles away." So he said, "I just don't do that."
It's very interesting that his height plays an important role in each of your books.
Yes. Absolutely, and that's partly because this character is based, the attitude and personality-wise is based on the man that I roomed with when I was in the service. We lived off the base because of lack of accommodations, and it was like having a job in which you put on a funny uniform and go every day, except that it was the U.S. military and it was important. But he was short and feisty, and he had he had a lot of what I'd call short person attitudes. People say, well, that sounds biased. I said, well, all right, but that's not neither positive or negative. That's neutral. A lot of short people, not all, but a lot of short people have very specific attitudes about things. One of them is based on the fact they're tired of being dismissed, if not actually shoved around by taller people,
well, that makes sense,
just because they're short.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You see,
Exactly.
And I can relate to that. Hold on, because I'm not sure. But hey, Carl, always a nice chat with you. Thank you for being on the air. Stay warm up there. I got a copy here of the book, The Case of the Yellow Diamond.
Good.
Call
it's
me.
Available in, it's available in bookstores all over the place.
So go buy one. Do you have a website for yourself, Carl?
Absolutely, I have a website. It's creatively enough. It's www.carlbrookins.com.
CarlBrookins.com. And Robin made it easy for our listeners. Just go to WOCA.com, go to the guest list for today, and you'll find Carl's name in the description of the book and the website right there at the 11:20 slot. Carl Brookins.
Absolutely.
Stay warm. Come if you're ever in Florida, you're welcome to come into the studio anytime.
Thank you.
Good to hear from you.
Have a great day.
All right, we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Rock music megastar David Bowie has died of cancer 2 days after his 69th birthday.
He only released an album last Friday with one song called Lazarus, opening with the line,
"Look up here, I'm in heaven."
Bowie's longtime producer, American Tony Visconti, calling the record Bowie's parting gift to the world.
Fox Radio Simon Owen in London. An appeals court has delayed the Baltimore trial of police van driver Cesar Goodson, charged in the death of Freddie Gray. Jury selection was due to start today. Last week, a judge ruled that Officer William Porter, whose manslaughter trial ended in a hung jury, must testify against Goodson. With no winner in Saturday's Powerball drawing, the jackpot now an estimated $1.3 billion.
I'm hoping I win, because if I do, I'm going to make a lot of people happy.
That woman in California, the odds of winning the jackpot, 1 in 292 million. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Any Jane Doe can tell you that Geico could help you save. But since money talks, we just ask the savings instead.
Greetings and sun salutations. I'm Jane's Money, and I never knew my self-worth until Jane switched her car insurance at Geico.com. Those 15 minutes built me up to real savings. Geico's been helping customers save money like me for over 75 years. So take that to the bank. And namaste.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
There are times being a genius would really come in handy.
This is Houston. Your oxygen levels will be depleted unless you put the valve modulator into the auxiliary gauge after you have calibrated the flexternal matrix, not the external matrix. Do not touch that one.
I'm just the cook. But thankfully, you don't need to be a genius to do your own taxes. Because with TurboTax, you can snap a photo of your W-2 with your smartphone, and it will automatically put your information into all the right forms. Intuit TurboTax. Taxes done smarter.
All right, 28 minutes now before 12 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. That last commercial was about your tax refund. If you have a tax refund, you want to make that money go farther, go to Jerry's Pawn and Gun.
Yep, exactly.
Simple idea, right?
That's right.
Your money will go a lot farther. Hey, Jerry.
Come by Jerry's Pawn Shop and spend it and save a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean that's common sense, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's on sale at Jerry's. It always has been, and we sell it a lot cheaper than you pay retail for things. So come by and see us on that. If you have something you want to sell, we're looking for good stuff to buy. You got good tools, good anything. If you have something you need some money, bring it by and see us. The guns, if you have any guns you want to sell, bring them by. You can put them in the car if they're loaded or unloaded. Just put them in the back of the trunk and close them up and bring them, and we'll unload them. Just tell us about it.
Yeah, you better unload them.
Let us know. We don't care, and it ain't against the law to do that. So bring them on down. If you got a bunch of them, over 10 guns, I'll come to your house and make an appraisal on them. If you like what we offer, then you can let us buy them. If you don't, you know what they're worth. So that's
good.
That's one way one way to do it. We're not pressure you to do anything, but we like to buy stuff. And if you have just 1 or 2 guns, bring them by. We'll buy them from you. We're always looking for German guns, all types of German Lugers, German 98 Mausers, and Japanese rifles. We're looking for Colt pistols, older ones, Winchester rifles. The older ones are newer ones. We don't care. If you have new guns, we'll buy them. If you have old guns, we'll buy them. And just make sure that if they're workable or operated or worth something, we'll buy it from you. Jewelry of all kinds. If you have just plain scrap jewelry, if you need to get something repaired, we have a best jeweler in Ocala right here at Jerry's Pawn Shop. So come by, and if you have something you need to get done, bring it on. We can make old things look like new in the gold. And if you have silver you want to sell, we buy silverware.
That's right.
But it's got to say sterling on each piece that we take. We can't buy the plated stuff. So just remember, when you're looking at stuff, if it says sterling on each piece, then we'll take it. On the jewelry, same way. We'll buy it if it's sterling. And the gold, we don't care what it looks like, what it's done, gold watches, pocket watches, we'll buy it. And if bring it by, and we'll tell you what it's worth. You don't have to sell it again. You can borrow some money on it. We'll make you a deal on it. If you say you heard it on WMOP, we'll give you a special deal on the pawn rate. WMOP. Well, that's the same thing.
No.
WOCA.
There you go. There you
MOP. MOP was the one I started with.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
You did.
I can't get that off my mind. I think it was 48 years ago when I first started.
Wow.
With WMOP.
Well, you're coming up on your 50th anniversary, aren't you?
Getting close. 48, be 49 April 19th.
Oh, I thought it was going to be 50.
Actually, I'm all the way clear. I'm just working for Kevin, so
okay,
come to
right.
see me. I'm here, but I'll be down here trying to help Kevin do the best I can for him and make sure he does real good. So
go see Jerry. Jerry's.
That's right.
Go see Jerry. Jerry's Pawn and Gun.
Me, Kevin. Jerry's Pawn and Gun is where we're at Northwest 8th and Pine, 622-3780, and I just got it in time.
There you go. Jerry. Well, always good to chat with you. And, go see Jerry. Those guys are really do you right. And say
Jerry's
hi.
Wonderful.
Tell everybody we said hi, okay, Jerry?
I sure will.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, we'll be right back for Fun with Joe.
Let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.